What's up, family? It's your girl, Dr. Shonna, and I'm here for Men Lives Matter Monday. We're going to have a really good conversation today about Ralph Yarl, the young man, the 16-year-old that was shot in the head by a Kansas City, Clay County white man named as Andrew D. Lester. We're going to talk about this case. We have some serious conversation to be had about this case. We have to really analyze this case. We have to watch for a couple of things. This is Monday, which means Men's Lives Matter. I found it to be very appropriate to talk about what is happening in our community and what we can do. But before we go ahead and get started, I'm going to need you all to do me a favor. If you are on YouTube, share the video, like the video, comment in the comment section, but keep everything respectful. Be sensitive that this is a very sensitive matter that we're talking about today. If you are on Facebook, I need you to do the same thing. Like and subscribe to the page, comment in the session, share the video. This video will be family friendly because we have to strategize. We have to strategize and we have to be very alert and aware of what's happening. No one in our community should have the liberty of lowering their defenses. No one in our community should never, ever, ever, ever assume that is not going to happen to you. It happens to all of us. And you just are lucky that nothing has knocked on your door because it happens to all of us. Before we get started, family, I see y'all coming in. Hello to all of y'all. What's up, D fam? Heist hitter, Tosha Peters, Yvette Gary. What's up to all of you guys? Eric Williams. I love every last one of y'all. Before we go ahead and get started, let me just remind you all that this weekend, the 22nd and the 23rd, in Atlanta, Georgia, we are going to have the Black Agenda Conference. For those of you guys who are not able to attend in person, you are more than welcome to still get your tickets and stream it online. This is not something you want to miss because we are going to be strategizing and we're going to make sure we're teaching you guys the things you need to know, not only self-defense, but how to repair your family members, how to fight the justice system, how to self-educate your children, how to build your businesses and get your money. We're going to be teaching you guys all that we know and all that we incorporate every day of our waking lives. We're going to be teaching it to you. So you need to show up. You need to show up. For those of you guys who may not be able to afford a ticket, don't worry about it. Just show up at the door. Show up at the door. No one is going to be turned away. I promise you that. Just come out. Come out. So you should already know the link to the Black Agenda Movement. Thank you for that. Here for Truth is the blackagendamovement.com. Click the link. Here for Truth has already put it in there. Click the link. Sign up. Go visit the mxnetworktv.com where there's other content that is not regulated, such as how content on YouTube is regulated. Let's get started. So I've been easy. I've been easy about this story. I heard about this story a few days ago that this young boy, Ralph Yarl, who was shot in the head after going to the wrong address to pick up his twin younger brothers. He was shot twice, one in the head and one in the arm. The good news is he is home and recovering. Now, we know, well, I ain't going to say we know. I know, I'm going to put it on me. I know I know that is a reason why he's still alive. I know, I know that the ancestors are around him. I know he is blessed beyond measure. I know that there is a reason why we're going to have this kind of conversation today because we're not always blessed. You hear me? To be able to have a victim in this kind of situation, to be able to say what happened. And I'm going to tell you why I know that. Today, the white supremacist, Andrew D. Lester, has a warrant out for his arrest. His picture has been released. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you guys all of that. His picture has been released, and people are excited that finally we are on the road to justice. Now, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, because I know some people get super, ooper, duper excited. And then when things don't go as planned, they become super, ooper, duper disappointed. So here's what I'm going to say. Am I at least pleased that this picture has been released? I am. Am I at least pleased that the prosecutor's office decided to pursue charges? I am. Am I pleased and thankful and happy that Ralph is alive and well? I am. That I'm elated about. But let me tell you, I'm sorry. Call me a pessimist, call me whatever you want. In this kind of situation, I am not a Pollyanna. In this kind of situation, I am waiting and I am watching because I already see the tricks. We're going to go over the tricks tonight. I'm going to point out for you guys all the tricks that I already see. I already see the tricks of the trade. And the curveball was the fact that Ralph is home. Ralph is alive. Ralph is speaking. And Ralph is finally getting to a place where he can give that statement that the Kansas City Police Department stated that they needed. Y'all better hear me out. The Kansas City Police Department stated they needed the victim's statement before they could make an arrest. Now, I want y'all to just sit on that for just a second. I want y'all to hear me out. I need y'all to hear me out for just a second. We're going to go over the facts of this case in a minute. But I want y'all to just let that resonate. Let that vibrate through you for just a second. They could not arrest and charge the man who shot Ralph 2 times, once in the head and once in the arm, because they needed to gather more information and facts, and they wanted a victim statement. So I said, my community is saying, about time. Now justice is going to be served. We want justice. And we do this all the time, family. But we need to be able to sit back and watch how all this unfolds. We need to listen to their language. We need to watch their body language, their behaviors. We need to watch everything, what is said, what is not said, and how they move. We need to watch it all, because that will tell you everything you need to know. You needed to have a victim statement before you can make an arrest. But woo, I'll tell you, the spirit of our ancestors ain't playing no damn games. I'll tell you, the spirit of the creator ain't playing no games. They were not expecting this blessed young man to walk out of the hospital with a bullet in his head. They were not expecting that. And so, of course, charges had to be filed. Of course, a measly $200,000 bond had to be set. Of course, news press releases had to be done. Of course, they're going to say they were waiting to gather all the data, all the information, all the facts. They were waiting to build the case on a solid foundation before they can make an arrest. Of course, they're going to say that because their victim is alive. Because the victim is alive. I find that very interesting. So let's go over what was said. Right, family? Let's go over what was said. So the prosecutors, they have reportedly filed 2 felony charges. Okay? 2 felony charges against Andrew D. Lester. One is a Class A felony, a Class A felon assault in the first degree. And that charge comes from the incident that occurred on April 13th, 2023 in Clay County, Missouri. This felony is under the cause physical injury by shooting Ralph. That's what they're doing. So it's a Class A felony that carries anywhere from 10 to 30 years or life in prison. Another charge is an unclassified felony, armed criminal action. That's what it is. An unclassified felony, armed criminal action, which carries with it 3 to 15 years. A warrant was issued for the arrest of Andrew D. Lester, and bond was set for $200,000. $200,000. Woo! Yes, $200,000. This is the prosecutor, y'all. This is the prosecutor. He had held a press conference where media, the reporters showed up, and they were able to ask him a number of questions concerning this case. He feels that the charges came at the time in which he feels is appropriate, because he feels they needed to approach this case in an objective manner. He needed to have a thorough review of the case before he was able to give the okay to arrest this guy, to charge him. So there was a press conference. Let's go ahead over some of the questions in this press conference, okay? We're going to go over some of the questions that was asked. One person asked him, why no murder charges? Why no attempted murder charges? He said that Andrew D. Lester is charged with the highest level of offense in Missouri. Other charges, if they considered other charges, it may not carry the same level of penalty, right? So that, a lot of people were curious about that. Basically, what they're saying is, what is the penalty for first-degree assault in Missouri? A person is guilty of first-degree assault if they attempt to kill another person or knowingly cause or attempt to cause another person's serious physical injury. Penalties: first degree. If a first-degree assault results in serious physical injury to the victim, the crime is a Class A felony, which is punishable by 10 to 30 years for even life in prison. The same penalty applies if the defendant committed the offense against a special victim. In all other cases, the crime is a Class B felony, punishable by 5 to 15 years in prison. So what he is saying is, this is the highest that we can go. We didn't want to start getting onto all these other charges, and this is the charge that comes with the highest penalty. Another question asked, are there possible hate crime charges? He said, in Missouri, hate crime charges is a Class E or D felony. And classes E and D have lower penalties, lower punishment. So that is the reason why they didn't get into charging him with a hate crime. And somebody asked, will you go back and tack on another charge like the hate crime? And that prosecutor, he stated that they don't want to get into anything like double jeopardy. So in other words, this man is not going to be charged with a hate crime because of the way the laws are, and and the hate crime comes with a lesser penalty. So they went with the highest that the extent of the law will allow. This is what I'm telling y'all, right? Why did it take several days for the police to refer this case to the prosecutor's office? According to the prosecutor, he said, Kansas City Police Department worked very hard, attempted to get a formal statement from the witness, waiting for forensic laboratory results. This is the reason why they did not rush to refer it to the prosecutor's office. The victim's statement was important before charges. You need a victim statement. You need a victim statement. It's so funny that he says witness statement. So in his own words, he used the word witness. I wrote it down verbally. I listened to the whole press conference. I paused, I wrote, I paused, I wrote. He said the witness statement. Well, who was the witness? Nobody else was around. Nobody else saw the shot. Beloved Ralph pulled up in the driveway to get his two brothers by himself. No one else was there. Ralph had to run to door to door to door, three doors to ask for help. And only one person, to my understanding, female, one person decided to call 911 and to get him some help. And the 911 operator told her, do not go outside, which I understand because y'all know I have an officer in this house, so I do understand that they will tell you that, right? Not to go outside because they don't know where the shooter is, and you could be at more risk. So she said she wanted to go out. She wanted to have towels to suppress his bleeding. She wanted to help him. So instead, she spoke to him, and he was alert. He was speaking to her, and based on what he was saying to her, she said she put two and two together that he went to the wrong address, the wrong house. She was able to see that. Caught a bullet in his head. So when he says they wanted to get the witness statement, who are they talking about? They talking about the victim? They some slick little devils. I tell y'all better stop getting excited. We're going to sit back. We're going to wait. Another question, was there a racial component to this case? According to the prosecutor, he says, as Clay County prosecutor, there was a racial component, but he refused to elaborate on it anymore. See, y'all got to understand that he's talking about he don't want to jeopardize the integrity of the case. He don't want to be on trial with media when it comes to the case. Yeah, stop playing with us. Stop playing with us. But that's what he said. Someone asked, is stand your ground or castle law a factor in this case? His response is, self-defense in the state of Missouri is controlled by section 56501, which states a person may use physical force or on another person to the extent that he or she reasonably believes such to be necessary to defend himself, herself, or a third person from what he or she reasonably believes to be the use of imminent use or unlawful force. We are all unsure if this stand your ground will be used, because he said that he wasn't going to comment on it because he doesn't want to jeopardize the case. Someone else asked the question, why was the defendant let go? Now, let me tell you about that. The incident happened just shy of 10 o'clock p.m. Ralph knocked at the door. According to Ralph's statement, he felt that whoever was behind the door was taking longer than usual to come from the door. Then he heard rustling around in the house. The door opens and the guy, boom, shoots him. Once through the glass door, bullet hitting him in the head. He falls to the ground. Then the guy shoots him again in the arm while he's down. Ralph was able to muster up energy to run, not only to the first house for help, but the second and the third house for help. Apparently, Andrew D. Lester, right? I want y'all to know what his name is. Apparently, this man right here was brought down to Kansas City Police Department at about 12:36 a.m., something like that. I'll get the times correct. But he was brought in 12:36 a.m. in the morning. And apparently, this man right here, one-eyed Willie, one-eyed Andrew, looking like a chicharron, like a pork rind, was let go at 1 something in the morning. So they held this joker for like an hour. Now, Kansas City, Missouri's law is you can only hold somebody up to 24 hours. You have to arrest them with a charge or let them go. He was only held for an hour or so, and then he was let go. Now, that was fast, I would have to say. So when they asked the question, why was the defendant let go in an hour? The prosecutor said, in Missouri, a person only can be held for up to 24 hours without charges, and then they have to let him go. The police were building their case on a solid foundation. That's what he said. In 1 hour, see, how can you, okay, let's back up a second, y'all. Family. We're just going to round it up to 10 o'clock p.m. It said just shy of 10 o'clock p.m. We're just going to round it up to 10 o'clock p.m. On the 13th, this happened. On the 13th, that was 4 days ago, 10 o'clock p.m. 2.5 hours later, they bring one-eyed bandit down to the police department. 2.5 hours later. 3.5 hours later, from the incident, 1 hour after they bring him down to the precinct, they let him go. So he said the police was building their case on a solid foundation. What foundation was that? When today is the 17th, you let that man go at 1:36 in the morning, 1:42 in the morning, got to get the times right, but something like that, 1:42 a.m., so he can go home and get in his bed, pull the covers over him, go to sleep with his bib. That's what he looked like he had on this picture. He looked like he had a whole goddamn bib on at 84 years old with his bib. Go to sleep, wake up and have cornflakes and a hard-boiled egg, sit in his comfy recliner chair and watch the news to see if he made the news. He did this on the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, and then this afternoon, they issued a warrant for his arrest for this afternoon, Monday, the 17th. So if the police were building their case on a solid foundation, what case was that? I mean, you allowed the man back into the crime scene. The only thing you took was his 32 caliber revolver. 32 caliber. I know somebody put 38. It was not a 38. It was a 32. You took his caliber. By the time media got there, somebody was on the property, vacuum up the glass, and there's a whole brand new glass door now. So what solid foundation are you building a case on? That old boy got to go back in his house and get up in his bed and polish the rest of his guns and eat some cornflakes in the morning. I don't know. Another question was asked. Do you believe he is still in the area? According to the prosecutor, he said he don't have specific information, but he does know law enforcement is aware of the warrant and they're taking appropriate action. Next question. Does the defendant have any kind of criminal history? And this is what the prosecutor says. He doesn't find it to be appropriate to comment on criminal history to media. That's interesting. He doesn't find it appropriate to comment on criminal history to the media. But we all know the tables been turned. Had the tables been turned, we already know. Our whole damn elementary school history will be up there. Our middle school, high school history, our college history, if we have it, or everything would have been up there. Speeding tickets would have been up there. Parking tickets would have been up there. You all know before they even tell our story, they got our criminal history up there. Even if the criminal history is being late on your child support payment, that would be up there. That's what he said. He is not going to find it appropriate. He does not find it appropriate to comment on criminal history to the media. Y'all better listen to all of this, because that's all I have to do is listen to what is being said, and that will tell you a lot. Next question: how old is the defendant? The prosecutor said 85-year-old white male, but he's an 84-year-old white male. He'd be 85 in October. I saw his records. How many times did he shoot Ralph? Two times, twice. One to the head, one to the arm. Did defendant shoot through the glass door or window? Rounds fired through the glass door. The victim did not. So if everybody out there who may say, well, he probably was trying to get into the house. Mr. One-Eye Willie thought he was trying to break in, so he was protecting his castle. No. According to the prosecutors, the victim, which is Ralph, did not cross the threshold. He did not try to enter the home. He did not make an attempt to enter the home. One-Eye Willie opened the door and fired a shot or two, striking Ralph twice through the glass door. Somebody asked if he knocked on the door or rang the doorbell, and the prosecutor said that part of the story was in dispute. Next question. They were there. This is what one of the media people said. They were there picking up siblings and there by mistake. So I guess, when they say they were there now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. When he said they, I had to rewind at 45,000. I'm a little bit older, y'all. I'm a 70s baby, right? So I'm a little bit older. And when I was raised, when we said the word they, it usually meant more than one person. But in this day and age, people identify themselves as they, right, for their pronouns, they, their, them. And so that can mean one person now. So we can just change the English language. We're not going to do it how we used to do it anymore. So even though I'm saying they, I do not want you all to say, well, who was there with Ralph? They said they. Well, they is one person in 2023, right? So they were picking up siblings and there by mistake. So the prosecutor responded, that's the evidence that we have. Next question. Does these charges mean the defendant did not act reasonably? Y'all heard that? Does the charges mean the defendant did not act reasonably? That's getting into that stand your ground stuff, right? That's where it's getting into. The prosecutor responds, after a thorough review surrounding the facts of this case, a felony assault charges were appropriate and also armed criminal action charges. What he did not say, they were not reasonable. What he did not say, they were inappropriate. What he did not say, they crossed the threshold. He's just playing it black and white, just keeping it very right there. Okay, we can expect that, right? We can expect that. But he said, after a thorough review surrounding the facts of this case, a felony assault charge or felony assault charges were appropriate and also armed criminal action charges. So a felony assault charge was appropriate and also armed criminal action. Did they speak when they interacted? Somebody else asked. In other words, when he knocked on the door or rang the doorbell, whatever is disputed, those little evidence parts right there are disputed. Did they speak? Did Ralph and One Eye Willie have a conversation? The prosecutor says does not indicate any words were exchanged. No words whatsoever. Opened up the door, boom, boom, shot him twice, just like that. Next question. Any home surveillance or camera or police dash cam video available? According to the prosecutor, law enforcement investigated that possibility. The incident would have been caught on camera or video. That is not part of the case file. So he's saying that law enforcement investigated that possibility, that maybe this whole thing was caught on camera or on video, but that's not a part of the case file. Now, I find that very interesting. I find it very interesting because when you watch the news, if you watch the clips from the news, when they were patrolling the area, they was on the property, there's a sign which I'm assuming is One Eye Willie's gate leading to his house, but it may not be, who knows? But the sign says that camera surveillance is there, like that property is recorded. He's not saying it was not recorded. He's saying that information is not part of the police file. That's what he said. He said law enforcement investigated that possibility. The incident would have been caught on camera or video. That is not part of the case file. So is there video or is there no video? Like, can we be very clear about that? That is not part of the case file. Like, well, I guess it won't be. I guess when you let One Eye Willie back home an hour later after having a conversation, giving him coffee and a donut, I guess after all of that, Willie can go home and erase the video. I mean, if his gate says his property is under surveillance, if the gate says that, and he know he shot this kid in the head, and he know why he shot the kid, because it was a little brown boy knocking on his door, and he was like, oh no, you're not going to come around here, and put a bullet in him. I would guess he would have enough time to go home and delete evidence. I mean, if I wasn't sure I was going to jail or not, I would call my peoples over and I would say, yo, I just shot somebody, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know how to work this camera, but I'm gonna need y'all to come over here and look at this camera. I'm gonna need y'all, to look at this camera and tell me what to do with it. If I was 84 years old, I'm calling one of my adult kids. I need y'all to come over here. They had me down at the prison. They were talking to me, took a picture of me and everything. I need y'all come on over immediately. I mean, my family's gonna be at my house at 1:52 a.m. If I got at 1:42 a.m., they're gonna be at my house at 1:52 a.m. I mean, I'm just saying. When I heard the prosecutor say that, that's the first place my mind went. Well, if you let him out an hour later, and if he really had cameras around his property, which a lot of people do in 2023, I mean, if you let him out an hour later, he could delete that file. I mean, I'm just saying. Right, IB? IB Music said, we outside picking you up, right? The minute they say, I'm sorry, we're going to have to come down to the precinct to ask you some questions. The minute they say that, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Okay, I'm going to need you. They trying to take me to the police. This little ninja knocked on my door, and I was afraid for my life. Give me 1 second, officer. I thought he was trying to break into my house. And I put a bullet in him. I'm coming, officer. I'm coming. Yeah, I did. I shot him one good one in the head. And he went down, but I guess I didn't keep him down. He ran away. Ooh, strong old buck. But they're gonna go take me down. Can you just meet me at the precinct and tell Marjorie to come to my house And just in case I need some stuff from my house, code language. Code language. So while Jimmy is meeting One-Eye Willie at the police department, Marjorie is at the house cleaning up the evidence. That's what I think. Next question. Did anyone else witness this? Did anybody else witness this? According to the prosecutor, no, not indicated. Nobody else witnessed it. Next question. What kind of gun was used? According to the prosecutor, a 32 revolver. There was no information on whether or not Andrew Lester was licensed to have this gun, but we know that he has a hunting permit on file because they found that record online. So we know he has a hunting permit. So don't be surprised. He probably got a gun permit. He probably have a gun permit for every last gun in his house. He has a hunting permit. So you know he got plenty of calibers, baby, all through his house. Next question. What would be your message to the community? Y'all ready for this? Now, they asked him the question, what would be your message to the community? What do you guys think that he may have said? I'm telling you, I got to listen to all of this. Got to listen to what's being said. But put yourself in his shoes for a moment. You're a prosecutor. They asking you, what would be your message to the community? Now, you already know the community is ready to turn up. You already know the community is ready to turn up. You already know Eric Williams said no permit needed in Missouri. He probably has a hunting permit from another state, right? So AM says the prosecutor probably would have said be calm and let all the facts come out, right? That's a good possibility, right? To relax, let us do our job. Don't take matters in your own hand. They probably would say something like that, right? My heart goes out to the family. And for Ralph, Yarl, my heart goes out to him. Strong guy. I want to say keep hanging in there, buddy. We're going to get you justice. To everyone that's showing up, trust me, we're all a part of this community, and we want you all to have the justice that you deserve. This was an act that was preventable, avoidable. We cannot continue to harm our children. Our children need to know that they're safe in this community. Maybe things like that. Maybe. I mean, that might be wishful thinking on our part. Wishful thinking on our part. But instead, he says, in Clay County, we enforce the laws and we follow the laws. And that doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like or how much money you have. Everyone is held to the same standard. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Everybody is held to the same standard. But yet, this woman here said they had to let him go. She understands the community's upset. We're listening. They had to let him go. They didn't have enough information to charge him. We had to let him go. We needed the victim's statement. We needed the victim's statement before we could bring any charges. We were waiting for the victim to wake up, to get home. Yep. We needed the victim's statement. That's what she said. Bunch of clowns. Bunch of clowns. Next question. Nothing about this process was different than any other investigation in your mind? That's what somebody asked them. Nothing about this process was different than any other investigation in your mind? In other words, People get shot in Kansas City, Missouri. People get shot in Kansas City, Missouri. People get arrested in Kansas City, Missouri. And I'm sure people get arrested without a victim statement. I'm sure some victims are not able to give their statements because they're unalived. I'm sure some victims are not able to say this is what happened, when it happened, and how it happened. I'm sure that does not stop people from being arrested. I'm sure arrests are still made, regardless, every day. I'm sure. So when they ask him a question, nothing was different about this investigation. Nothing. I mean, you handle this investigation like you handle all the other investigations, or should I say, do you handle all other investigations like you handle this investigation? Nothing was different. And what he said, the prosecutor said, let's put his face back up there. So I want y'all to be able to put the face to the message. The prosecutor said, I think the Kansas City Police Department worked extremely hard. Lab results were obtained in an extremely short timeline. That's not something you see every day. So why are we seeing that right now? If that is not something we see every day, what's different about this case? Why all of a sudden lab results can come back this fast? That's not something you see every day. Really? Y'all better listen to all of this. Y'all better listen to all of this, because Ralph was a promise, or is a promising student. All right, this is a promising student. That's who this young boy is. He's promising both academically and musically. He's promising. This handsome, young, melanated man, young boy, young man, that's what we're going to say, young man, was shot twice. This incident happened on April 13th. He was released from the hospital on Saturday, April 15th, 2 days later. 2 days later. That's who this young boy is. He was talking. He was able to say what happened when this man shot him through his screen door. Not a who is it? Not a hello. Hey, Yusuf, I missed you too, boo. I owe you a phone call, several. Not anything. This young boy, this young man, went to go pick up his 2 younger brothers. Probably excited to drive, 16 years old. What age do you have to be to get a license in Missouri? I don't know how it is in your town, but what age you have to be to get a license in Missouri? I would like to know that. If anyone knows that. How old? What's the licensure age where you can drive your car? Because I know how some people in our community can be. Sometimes they can be a little bit judgmental and say, well, why was he picking up his brothers anyway? That's for his parents to do. Right? Thank you for that, Trinity B and Chai Non More. Right? Why? I know some people, why? That's the problem now. That's his parents' job. But I know when my children first got their licenses, because Ralph is 16 years old. This young man is 16 years old. I remember when my children first got their license to drive, and they want to go everywhere. If I say, oh, I got to run to the store and get some milk, I'll go. If I said, I'll be right back, I got to go pick up your brother from daycare, I'll go. Any other time I can't get them to do it, not a goddamn thing. But when it comes to getting in that car and driving it, I don't know about y'all, but I'll go. I'll go. Like, oh, I forgot your brother has to be at karate. I got to get him over to karate. I'll take him. Right? So it's not uncommon. I could see him excited to go drive that whip, 6 years old, got your license now, get to take your parents' car, go pick up your little brothers, come home and showing that you're responsible because you want to show your responsibility so you could use the car more often. That's how my kids were. My kids want to show their responsibility, right? Want to show their responsibility. Ordering food, no, have them deliver it. No, Mom, we don't have to have them. I'll go pick it up. You sure? Mom, I'll pick it up. No, I don't know. I don't know about you driving my car. Mom, that's gonna happen. If something happens to my car, it's gonna be your behind. I promise you, Mom, I promise you. Let me get the key. Let me get the key. I come in, start the car, right? The music is blaring all the way loud, right? I could just hear my teenager pulling up because they showing off because they got a car. Oh, let it be the right car too. Let it be the right car that shows some little flex. Think they got hair on their chest and everything, right? So I could see that happening. That's what he was doing. He was being a responsible big brother. But see, what I say all the time is nobody knows your story when they meet you. They see the color of your skin. He went 1 block off. He went to 115th Street as opposed to 115 Terrace. And the houses are like a block away, maybe even 2 blocks, who knows? But one is called street, one is called terrace. That's an honest mistake. They don't know that you're academically sound. They don't know that you're musically sound. They don't know that you're a responsible young boy. They don't know you're college bound. They don't know you want to be an engineer. They don't know anything about that. The only thing they know is that we ninjas. That's the only thing they know because that's what you can see. We're highly visible. See, I don't want to take away from anybody else's experiences or anybody else's pain when it comes to discrimination, bias, prejudice, hate. I don't want to take away from anybody else's experience, but ain't nobody got an experience like ours because ain't nothing about us we can hide. Ain't nothing about us we can hide. When I walk out, I don't get to claim I'm transracial. When I walk out my house, I can't just put white on the application. Oh no, I can't do it because I am highly visible. Highly visible. Before somebody even asks me, what am I? They don't even have to ask me. I can walk away, they're going to check black, African American. That's immediately what they're going to put down. Highly visible. So I get so frustrated when I hear those of us who are highly visible people and they say stuff like, oh, that's so sad, stuff like that happens when you live in the urban areas. Oh, it's so hard for parents to keep a tab on their kids. Now, I'm not excusing badass kids. Now, I got another video for that, but we won't have that conversation tonight. But that's what they do, right? Oh, I feel that's sad. I mean, I'm so glad that we don't live in that kind of community. That's why I moved away. That's why I raised my children in this kind of community. That's why I sent them to this school. That's why I put them in all these different activities. That's why I make sure my children are cultured because people are discriminate. And when you're in those kind of communities, it happens to you more likely it's going to happen to you. That's what I hear a lot of melanated people say. You really think you safe? You really think you safe Oh, because you're in a different income bracket. Oh, because you have a higher education. Oh, because you live in a good community. Oh, because you drive a nice car. Oh, because you married, right? You married. So it ain't going to happen to you and your family. Oh, yeah? Nobody's playing games anymore. We are in the wild, wild west in America. Baby, you go ahead and keep believing this system of post-racial America, where now America is colorblind. Ain't nothing colorblind about America. One Eye Willie got a whole goddamn hood in his basement. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm gonna put that out there. I don't know if One Eye Willie has the Grand Wizard gown and cone for his head in his basement. But I do wonder what happened to them hoods and them gowns. I do wonder what happened to those hood and gowns. You know, by the way, I just found it very interesting that his arrest record says race unknown. You think they're going to do that for us, us highly visible people? You think if we get arrested and we choose not to answer what our race is, do you think they're going to be like unknown? Mm-hmm. Unknown. No, they're going to be like ninja because we highly visible. Highly visible. Andrew Lester was taken into custody approximately 2 hours, 40 minutes after the incident and released a whole hour later. 84 years old. Didn't have no charges on the 14th when he was taken into custody for questioning. Didn't have any charges on the 15th. Didn't have any charges on the 16th. And for some reason today, the 17th, he's finally charged after the videotapes, if they existed, being erased, after the crime scene being tampered with, after he got his escape route from his house so they can hide him safely, after he called his family members and his friends and his buddies that love him, after he did all that he needed to do to clean up his mess, all that he needed to do, today, they decided to charge him. Today, our tax dollars at work today. Our tax dollars at work 4 days later. Our tax dollars at work 4 days later. And everything is about optics. Is that the mayor? Is that the Kansas City mayor? Who the black guy in the picture? Who is he in the picture? But this is all optics. That's all it is optics. That's it. Everything's about optics. Everything. And for the prosecutor to get up there and say what he said in terms of no matter what race you are, everyone's going to be held under the law. No, you a liar. You brought those charges today on Monday, April 17th, because you wasn't expecting him to walk out of the hospital. You were not expecting him to be able to give his victim statement. You were not expecting him to identify the shooter. You were not expecting him to say, I did not try to go into that house. You were not expecting him to say, I knocked on not one door, not two doors, but three doors, and nobody would help me. You were not expecting him to say, I want justice to be served. You were not expecting him to come forward. Let the truth be known. Let the truth be known. Them charges wasn't going to come. Those charges wasn't going to come. It took people to pull up at Lester's house. It took God blessing Ralph tremendously and giving him the strength through the blood of our ancestors for him to stand up and run to 3 homes. You were not expecting that buck to get up and run. You weren't expecting it to happen. It took the people pulling up. It took GoFundMe to hit $2 million. And it's probably more right now. See, let me tell you something, family. Let me tell you something. I know we're tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I know you're tired of this. We're all tired of this. This has got to stop. But you see this number here? Let me refresh this page to see if it went up. There you go. Boom. I hope you donated. I donated. $2,436,300. $2,436,340,000. I hope you donated. I hope you donated. Ellen Daniels gave $15,000. $15,000. This is serious, y'all. I think every life, every Black life that we lose should have the same response. I put his GoFundMe link in the description of this video. I didn't have to think twice. Didn't have to think twice. Boom. Donation. I want to see that all the time in our community. I want to see that all the time in our community. See, because when we don't know the stories, we don't know. We just don't know. I was on Twitter and a person on Twitter said they want that same type of energy for this other person. I'm trying to get the name of the other person who was shot and killed. They want that same type of energy. And I don't know the story. I never heard of the story. The first time I saw was when this person posted on Twitter. And maybe she's right. Maybe we do need that same type of energy with that case too. Right? But when we don't know, we don't know. And that's why I say it's very, very, very critical for us to be conscientious about what we're posting, for us to be very aware about what we're sharing. It's cool to laugh at things online. It's cool to share memes and funny things. I don't think it's cool to worry about celebrities' lives and stuff. Y'all know more about celebrities than you do what's going on in the community. And there's so many of these stories. There's so many of these stories, and unfortunately, it doesn't make the news. But when I saw those donations today for Ralph, I know that we can do this as a community. I know we can step up. I know we can hold people accountable. I know we can do what we need to do to make sure our community is responding in the most appropriate ways. But I also have to say this as well. And then I'm out of here. Listen, if you guys have not already liked the channel here on Facebook, go ahead and like the page, follow the page. Same thing on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I am going live. What I am going to say to you all is this. I'm trying to think about how to word it, because I know some of y'all be sensitive And I'm not trying to step on any toes tonight. I'm really just trying to be good tonight. I think I've been doing well. But some people gonna get mad regardless, whether I do extremely well or not. Some people gonna get mad regardless. So let me just say how I just need to say how I need to say it. And then I'm out of here. Let me say this. I'm glad you guys have a lot of energy to march. I'm glad. I am glad that you guys believe in the just us system. I'm not saying all of you guys. I'm talking to the people that, they believe that. I'm glad that you guys love to have candle vigils and release balloons and sing your kumbayas. I'm glad that you guys like to keep the spirit of Dr. King and turn the other cheek. I'm glad that you guys believe that the Lord is going to get vengeance because the Lord said, vengeance is mine. I'm glad you guys say I can find it in my heart to forgive you. I hope God forgives you. I forgive you. I'm glad that you guys find it in your heart to do all of that. Very nice for you all. But there are parts of the Bible that you guys don't talk about, like an eye for an eye. I ain't saying nothing. I'm not inciting violence. I'm just saying. Everybody want to say, turn the other cheeks. Forgive those who harm you because they know not what they do. Right? Don't hold hate in your heart. Don't take matters into your own hands. The Lord said, vengeance is mine. I understand that. But it also says an eye for an eye. See, I'm of the old school mindset. I'm going to be able to say that. And when I was growing up, my mother taught me some very valuable lessons about getting respect. My mother used to say, if you don't show them you mean business, they're going to keep on doing it. If you don't show them you mean business, they're going to keep on doing it. I take that very seriously. I think that some of us in our community, we have gone to jail for less things, such as driving in a car with an unlicensed gun, maybe fighting over territories, gang territories, drug territory. We don't even think twice. We don't even think twice. We just pop, 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 pop. We just popping off. We just popping off. You step on my retros, you might catch one. You sitting in my seat in the movie theater. You know how people say, I wish somebody be in my seat tonight. We ready to pop off, pop off. I'm going to shut up right there. I'm going to shut up right there. I'm going to just, Proverbs talks about being silent and watching your words and thinking before you speak. I'm going to shut up right there. I think y'all know where I'm getting at. I think y'all know where I'm getting at. I told y'all a while ago in the videos that this is not gonna get easier for us. So y'all want to walk around and be kumbaya and being everybody's friend. Everybody's friend. Y'all want to walk around and have your signs up chanting no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. And I'm not saying those things don't have its place. You know, everything has its place. I'm talking about you can't you listen. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. But I'm glad that you all are controlling yourselves. I'm glad that no one took up an eye for eye, because y'all listening to Gandhi talking about for whoever said it. I don't know if it was Gandhi, but one of those people, eye for eye, leave the whole world blind. I guess we all gonna be blind up in this bitch. I guess we all gonna be blind up in here, right? So somebody better learn to stop doing dirty, grimy things. Somebody better learn we all gonna be blind up in this piece. But I'm glad y'all love to march and protest and give nice speeches. Everyone sounding like a pastor. Everybody sounding like a pastor. Everybody sound the same way with their speeches. Either they're very angry with their speeches or they have the same type of rhetoric of a pastor. And we will not. Like I'm just tired of it. I don't know. Listen, I love every last one of y'all. If y'all have not already done so, go ahead and visit theblack-agenda-movement.com and get your tickets for the Black Agenda. I expect to see y'all all there this weekend coming up. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be ready. All right. Teaching. And everyone else on the panel got some really dope panelists. Everyone is teaching in their own right. We're going to be up there. We're going to have workshops. Bring your pen, bring your paper. Come ready. Come ready. Because clearly, this is not a game. This is not a game. I'm not telling y'all who y'all can chill with. I'm not telling you who your friends can and cannot be. There's nothing wrong with having your diverse circle. There's nothing wrong with it. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be in a conflict of interest, you're going to be left out there. That's all I'm going to say, right? It gets to a point where you have to be wise. You got to be strategic in everything that you do. Everybody in your circle, you need to be strategic with everything that you do, because it is not a game. We should not be in these streets alone. We should not be assuming nothing's going to happen to us. We got to guard our babies. We got to guard our husbands. We got to guard our wives. We got to guard our neighbors, our cousins, our nieces, our nephews. We have to be on guard. We have to guard one another. This is not a game. And it's unfortunately that some of us have become too relaxed on how we move in the street and how we have our children moving in the street. We cannot be relaxed. Y'all need to make up your minds. It's either you're going to believe we in this peace, kumbaya community, this post-racial community where nothing else is going on, or you're going to be in reality knowing that stuff is still happening. Have the conversations with your children, have the conversations with your husbands, have your conversations with your wives, have the conversation with your sisters, your brothers, even your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents. It's a jungle out here. Ain't nothing safe in America. I love you all. Have a blessed night.